Welcome back to the Better Every Day podcast, where we are unlocking our best self one episode at a time. My name is David Garcia, and this is my beautiful wife, Grace Garcia.
Hi.
This is episode 7 of season 3. Last week, we had your sister and her husband, Melody and Kevin, on, and that was a beautiful episode. We've been seeing the feedback that actually Melody has been getting, really.
Yeah, she was the star.
And yeah, we're so glad that episode is touching people. And you clearly see what Melody is going through, and I know that there's other people out there that are going through similar things. Addictions in general. Addictions are very hard. As I was actually having a conversation with somebody, and they were talking about the clip where I asked Kevin if the surgery was not a thing and you were back in that space where you were battling with your wife, would you continue to choose peace over you fighting for and basically with Melody? And the person reached out to me and was like, "Oh yeah, you know, you just got to be straight up. As a spouse, you just have to, be assertive." And I'm like, it's a lot easier said than done. I'm like, especially with somebody with an addiction. And I was thinking about it, and as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, like that's crazy. And I was thinking about, like, there might be a part of the person that is scared, that the relationship might crumble. But even more than that, I think there's a layer underneath that says that person is not just scared that they might lose the relationship because of the addiction, but I think they might be more scared of how they'll feel if they realize that their spouse is choosing the addiction over them and over their marriage. Like, just imagine how much that would hurt. To be like I come second. Like the addiction won. Like, and I was telling this person, sometimes it's almost like an alter ego of this person. Like, I think there's a part of that person with an addiction, like, that knows what the right thing to do, and then they want to do the right thing. But it's like the addiction takes over, and this alter ego, you could call it pride or whatever, like whatever it is that is trying to defend, like the action that it wants to take, like it takes over.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you are no longer fighting with your spouse, you're fighting with this addiction. It's like this whole other person. It's like a cancer that has taken over this person, and just like, what do I do? And it's sad to be in that crossroads of the addiction, like, might win. Like, sometimes for some people, they need to hit rock bottom for them to really start trying to change their life. And it was like Melody said, it's easier said than done. Like, it's a lot of people going through addiction know exactly what they need to do, but it's not as easy as just, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like, the urges come, the hormones happen, like all these things that are, it's just trying to seek that short-term satisfaction. Like, it takes over. So I told the person, I'm like, it's not as easy as that. I wish it was as easy as that. You just got to be firm, and that's it. It's just like the lack of unfirmness of whoever. Just like, no, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. But my point is that it was such a beautiful episode. And thank you, Melody, if you are listening to this, for coming on and sharing that story. I know that it's not easy for anybody to share, the things that they've gone through in regards to addiction and where the low points in their life have been. But I think it's powerful when somebody does come out, it just screams out loud, you're not alone. It screams out loud like there is a way. It screams out loud like there's hope, and to see somebody actually fighting for what they want to see is it definitely brings hope and like a breath of fresh air to a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you guys if anybody out there has a story that they want to tell and they feel like, it's worth telling, reach out to us. I mean, we could talk about it and then maybe have you guys on the podcast, have you guys tell your story as well. Because, I mean, the more people I think that come out and tell their stories. I think it just keeps enlightening our circle of influence, I guess. So, yeah. But moving along, we are now on episode 7. And I'm not going to ask you how you are, and I'm not going to ask you how you've been, because that's basically what we're talking about today. Episode 7, as you guys see, we are both rocking the same shirt, and we're rocking the same necklace.
Necklace?
Oh, yeah.
It's not a necklace.
Oh, what is it? Say it. Say it with pride.
It's our medal, our hard-earned.
No, say it with your chest, though.
A medal. It's medal.
Yes, it's our 2026 Los Angeles Marathon medal, which 2 weeks ago we were talking about, the next time that you guys see us, we'll be talking about the marathon. But it so landed that last week it was the episode with Melody and Kevin, so we weren't able to really talk about the marathon. So here we are 2 weeks later. Well, really, it's a week and a half later, and we're here to talk about the marathon. And clearly, as you guys see, we're both wearing the medal, which means that we both cross the line. Although, crazy enough, in California, I haven't heard of anybody else doing this, but and it would be crazy that nobody else did it, just California, because I mean, California is California. But the fact, okay, so if you guys don't know, the day that we were supposed to do the marathon, it was supposed to get up to I think before the day actually landed, it was supposed to get no higher than 84. And the whoever's organizing this LA marathon decided, hey, you know what? Some people running this marathon, they might have a hard time. And so let's give people the option to, instead of doing the full 26.2 miles, they can stop running after I think they said 18, but it was a little past 18. So let's call it 18 and a half. At 18 and a half miles, you can take a left into the loop and you can cross the finish line, and we will give you a full marathon medal.
In their defense, not that I agree with it at all, but in their defense, supposedly it was because the tents and the medical, they felt they were understaffed and they were not prepared for that. And so they didn't want to, logistically, it'd be a nightmare where so many people weren't prepared for the heat and they're understaffed or have not the volunteers. And so they were with the amount of people, they just wanted to be wise. That's what I was
That doesn't completely make sense to me, because, well, I get it on one sense where it's okay, they have probably an average temperature that they are usually used to. It's March, so it shouldn't be that hot. It should be the most low 70s or something like that. But it was going to be 84. But I mean, you have people running in Florida with not just heat, but humidity.
100%. And that's what people were saying. They're or Costa Rica and all these places. But they were just saying because in Los Angeles, it's not like that. They didn't have the staff. They weren't prepared for it. In case it does happen, they were not saying people can't do it. But since people didn't expect to run in those temperatures, they felt people were not going to be prepared. And therefore, the medical staff, they did not plan for a bunch of people to deal with these hot.
Listen. It was a last minute thing, but I mean, if you didn't do the full 26.2,
give it back.
I don't think you should be getting a medal. And if you get a medal, I mean, I hope you're not bragging that you finished a full marathon.
No, I don't think they are.
That's it. Because I did see a couple of people on Threads, which is the Instagram version of Twitter or X or whatever it's called, posting they were proud. I did 18 miles, and they were honest about it. They're I didn't have a great time. I felt tired or whatever. So they posted with the medal, and so many people are take that medal off. That's for finishers only.
No, but that's fine. If they post it and they said I did 18 miles, I feel they're honest about it.
I don't know.
Versus just posting it with no caption, it's
Listen. It's not everybody who can run a marathon. I don't know if the statistic is still true, because there's a lot. I feel the wave of runners, and I don't know if it's because we are now fully immersed in the world, but the statistic used to be that only 1% of the world's population will ever run a marathon. So I think there's some sort of like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like it's on a pedestal. It's like a something high that you do. And so I can understand the quote unquote purists that go like, no, like, okay, cool. You ran 18 miles. That's awesome. But you shouldn't get a medal. Mm-hmm. And I would somewhat agree with that. It's just like, okay, like this isn't meant to just be, well, I mean, again, for the purists, depending on who you're asking, but I believe like this isn't meant to be just like a souvenir. Like this is like, you know, like you win a championship with like a soccer team or whatever. Like the cup is not a souvenir. It's something that I achieved something great. Like not a lot of people can do this, you know? And so for them to be giving out the medals, even though you only did 18 miles, it was like, but yeah, anyways, that was just, just a little spiel, but, we finished it. Yes. We finished it.
And it was 26.2. That's what he was trying to get. We did 26.2.
It was actually more. It was 26.5. What did you clock yours at?
Yeah, like 26 point something.
Yeah, mine said 26.54. And it was a little annoying because every time my watch would say like, oh, mile 10 or whatever, we'd run. And then like about a quarter of a mile or half a mile up, you'd see the marker that said, oh, mile 10. You're just like, what the heck? Like something is off. But I think that's usually what happens with races. Because when I've done other races as well, it's the same thing. They say, oh, it's 13.1. And then you finish it and it's like 13.6
You
or
have to do like the Garmin tax.
I guess so. Or, you know, maybe they can't perfectly get on the number because, I mean, you know, they're running on the streets and stuff and they have blocks. So they're, I guess, they have to take that into account. So it's not going to be perfect. But anyways, as you guys know, for me personally, I had been dealing with an injury for about 8 weeks since end of December, something like that was my last run, 12 miles. I got this knee pain. I kind of knew what it was. My wife was bugging me, hey, go check it out. And I kept telling her, I know what it is. It's ITB or IT band syndrome. Like, I know what it is. And you were like, no, go check it out. So I went to the doctor. It's a sports medicine doctor. And she's like, oh, I think it's ITBS. And I'm like, I told you so. And she immediately, you know, I've been with her twice now, once for the ankle and now for this knee thing. And so basically, this is not a knee injury. It's a band that goes from your hip all the way to your knee and becomes tight because of overuse. And because it becomes tight, it starts like rubbing like something on your knee, and that's what causes the pain. But it's not really your knee. It's just that band. So anyways, been dealing with that. And then went to the doctor. She's like, okay, just go do PT and I'm going to give you some anti-inflammatories. So I started taking the anti-inflammatories, did the PT. And I thought I was going to be not able to run. But the doctor told me like, in so little words, she was basically like, don't be a little punk. You'll be able to run it. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, like at first I was a little reluctant. I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm going to be in pain. You know, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And honestly, part of my brain was just like, let's get out of this. Like, how am I going to do this? I couldn't see a way that I could do this. Mm-hmm. Then I went to PT and PT, I thought, you know, they were going to tell me like, oh, take 3, because the doctor had told me like take 3 weeks off, whatever. And then take the anti-inflammatory, and then we'll have another call, and we'll see how you're doing. I got the PT like 2 days after I went to the doctor, and the PT was like, all right, I want you to start running. And I'm like, the doctor doesn't want me to start running. And he's like, okay, that's cool, but I want you to start running. So he's like, start running half a mile. And he's like, basically, all I want you to do is run up until you get to a pain of like 3 or 4. And once you do that, you just stop and just keep working or whatever. So I started at half a mile, and I was still doing my gym workouts, which is weightlifting, leg training, upper body training. And so I did half a mile, then I got up to 1 mile, then I got to 1.5, then 1.6, 1.7, and I worked my way up to 4 miles. That's it. That's the most I did. Granted, when I did the 4 miles, I didn't get any sort of pain. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling okay. I've been doing the PT, like the stretches and the workouts, because if you guys don't know, whenever you have an injury, especially physically, which could be lesson number 1 of this episode, whenever you have an injury, especially like when I rolled my ankle or when I have this IT band syndrome, it's usually because you have a weakness somewhere else. So life lesson number 1, because you can apply that to a lot of things in life. Whenever you get something happens, like there's something that's weak. There's something that cracked. There's something that failed. So in the same way, like with this IT band syndrome, it's happened that like part of my glute was weak, and my hips were really tight. So they gave me like workouts of like, this is how you strengthen your glutes. This is how you like start stretching your hips so you can get a little more flexible. Because what I was doing is I was kind of running one foot in front of the other. So I was kind of like crossing over, whereas you should be running like side by side your feet. So because of that, the overuse injury happened, and that happened because I had my weak glute and the tight hip. So it revealed that there's a weakness. So they're like, here's how you strengthen it. And I believe that doing all the right things got me to the point where I'm like, oh, I ran 4 miles and there's no pain. But I only got to 4 miles a week, or maybe like 10 days before the marathon. And so I'm like, I don't want to, if I get to 4 miles, I don't want to try to get to 6 and like possibly like inflame the whatchamacallit again, the
band.
The band. There you go. Thank you. So I don't want to, I'm like, I'm just going to flip a coin. Like I got to 4. I'm like, I could see myself getting into 6 without no pain. And so I started telling you, I'm like, I think I'm going to run it with you, see how far I can get. And in my head, I was already thinking like 6 to 8, if I'm lucky, 10. That's what I had in my head. I'm telling my whole life story here, but it's a good story. So I tell you this, I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And you kind of start getting excited. I see it in your face, like, oh, we're going to run together, like you're also, I'm sure you're not sure of how far I'm going to make it. Or how,
I thought you were going to pass me or be way faster than me.
Originally, because when I was running at like a 10:30-ish, 11:30 pace, whatever. And you had been running most of your runs at around a 12 minute, 12:30, 13 sometimes. So I'm like, I had this, and I told you, I have this dilemma in my head, which I don't know if this pain is going to be something that is a time issue or an effort issue. Meaning like if I run faster, am I going to get pain faster? Or can I run faster and it's just going to take the same amount of time whether I run fast or slow? So if it's the latter, I'm like, I might as well run as far as I can before I get the pain rather than run like a shorter amount and still get the pain at the same time, right? So I was thinking that, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to run with grace. I think that'll be a good pace. It'll keep it nice and easy. And then granted, my cardio had been going down because I haven't been doing like anything long or anything. So like on our Garmin watches, it tells us like how our fitness is going, and my whole graph is just going down the whole time. And I'm like, all right. So I tell you, hey, I'm going to run it with you. You get excited. Let's go. And then I had an MRI. The doctor called me the 3 weeks after, and she's like, hey, how are you doing? I told her I'm still got the pain. She's like, you know what? Are you still planning to run the marathon? I said, yes. She's like, okay, I want you to go do an MRI because before you do the marathon, like I just want to make sure, I want to cross my T's and dot my I's that you don't actually have like some sort of knee issue. You don't have like a meniscus tear or something. I just want to check you out to be able to fully give you the green light of you're clear.
So you don't sue her?
Yeah. No, I don't think I was. So I do the MRI. We have a call like a couple days after, And she's like, okay, she shows me all the images. I have no idea I wish that the images were like easy, like so I can feel smart and be like, oh, I could be a doctor. But there's no way. Like the way that they rotate these images, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. But she's all like, oh, you see that? That's your meniscus or whatever. That looks completely fine. And that's your LCL. And that's fine. And that's this and blah, blah, blah. And basically she was like, your knee is completely fine. And it's your IT band does look inflamed around the knee. But she's like, I'm going to reiterate, you're going to be able to do the marathon. And she's like, not only that, but I'm going to offer you what she calls the game day drug, so she's a sports medicine doctor and she works for USC, I believe. So she works with the athletes of USC. And she's like, this is what I give my football players that have like inflamed joints or whatever, but they really like, they still need to show up to game day. She's like, this pill, it's some sort of anti-inflammatory, but it's obviously stronger than what she gave me before. She's like, it only works for 4 hours. So I feel like it's like, I picture like Popeye, eating the spinach or whatever and getting the little short burst of energy. She's like, I'm going to give you this pill. She ended up giving me 2. She's like, it only lasts for 4 hours. Take it before the race. Don't take anything else. And it'll help you be able to run. I tell you this and you're just like, oh, that's not fair. You have a magic pill. You're going to be able to do it. No problem, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, I still have an injury. Like it's going to help a little bit. And I don't know if you were getting worried or I don't know what the heck, but you just kept saying it over and over again. Oh, you kept telling everybody too, oh, he's got the magic pill, so he'll be completely fine. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be completely fine.
But you can't, I know you had the injury, but like you wouldn't be able to feel. So you'd be probably hurting it along the way, but you wouldn't feel until after.
Yeah.
That was my reasoning.
Yeah. Well, it's not a pain reliever. It's just an anti-inflammatory. So the cherry on top though, with all this whole process that's happening is I'm getting a little bit of hope, right? I got to 4 miles. I'm like, I can make it to 6, 8, maybe 10 if I'm lucky, especially with this anti-inflammatory. Let's see how it goes, whatever. But the cherry on top is like 2 days before the marathon, me and you start like sniffling. And like I started sniffling, and whenever I sniffle, I try my best not to sneeze because for whatever reason, in my mind, if you sneeze, it makes it worse. I don't know if you think like that, but I think like that. If I sneeze, I make it worse. So I'm trying my best not to sneeze. And so whenever I get the urge to sneeze, I just blow my nose. And it stops the sneeze or whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna fight this thing, taking my vitamins and stuff. And little by little, I just feel myself getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like on top of me already being injured, on top of me not being able to run and train, on top of like all this, like now on top, like I have to get sick. And again, all these, and I'm not gonna lie, like throughout this whole process, I'm like, do I get out of this? Do I not? And then, and the other cherry on top, and I think this is normal though, is when you start getting really close to the race, I mean, you start getting nervous about it. And you had been like running around like over and over again. I'm nervous. And the whole time I'm just like, what are you nervous about? I'm like, we've climbed mountains before. We've done half marathons before. Like we've done hard things. Like we know that we could do these things. And in the moment, I believed it. Okay. In the moment, I believed it. And the crazy thing about me is I don't know why. And I have another evidence of this, but when I speak like that, I believe it. And I'm like, I'm not nervous. Like you would ask me and I'm like, no, I'm not nervous. I'm fine. And in my mind, in my heart, I truly believe. And I think now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I'm like, I do this a lot actually. Going back to like things that I've gone through in the past, like that's not physical or whatever, but more emotional. I'm always like, no, I'm fine. And it's just like this mask to be able to, I guess, survive, a survival mechanism, I guess. But yeah, in that moment, I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I'm believing this and I'm amping myself up and I'm like, I'm fine. But like, I remember for our wedding, people were asking me, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm fine, completely fine. But my forehead said otherwise. Like I had never broken out like that ever in my life. And if you like zoom in onto our wedding pictures, like you'll see all the acne on my forehead. Like I don't even think the editor of the pictures was able to like get like it was bad. But like for whatever reason, I'm just like, no, I'm fine. And I truly believe it. So when you were asking me and I was just, no, I'm fine. You know, we've done hard things. And whenever I speak like that, like motivationally, I motivate myself. So I'm like, yeah, like we'll be fine. But 2 days before, like my body betrays that delusion, I guess. Because 2 nights before, like I'm getting horrible sleep and I'm still going to sleep at a good time, but getting horrible sleep. And the only thing I could think of is like, hey, I'm sick and the nerves are probably getting to me. And the night before I go, okay, so the crazy thing is that this marathon, I believe they changed it. I'm not sure if they changed the date or not, but they were fighting with the Oscars, I think, with when they were going to do it. They do it on the 8th, and on the 8th is daylight savings time. So we lose an hour. Mm-hmm. So I go to sleep at 7 because we're going to wake up at 4, which technically 4 would be 3 to us. So I'm still trying to do the math to, get 8 hours of sleep. Go to sleep at 7. Did not really get to sleep until like 7:30, 7:45 maybe. And then woke up like a couple of times. And then by like 2:45, I was awake. And funny thing is I look on my phone and I have a message from you that says, hey, if you wake up before 4, if you wake up around 3, like wake me up. And so sure enough, I woke you up. And the moment that I woke up though, I'm like, today's going to be a hard day. Like I just had already like. I
think that was your first issue. Just kidding.
What?
Like already declared that it's going to be a hard day.
No. And okay. And then here, maybe we can like talk about this, but I'm a person that I need to know what to expect. Right. And I'm also a person that would rather expect the worst and be prepared for the worst than expect the best and then get the worst. You get me? Mm-hmm. So I basically woke up and I'm like,
no, you were miserable.
I was just like, I'm not going to go back to sleep. And especially my thing is always like, I don't know if you guys are like this, but if you wake up in the middle of the night and you happen to look at your phone, I'm done. Mm. I'm done. The moment even if it's half an eye, like I'm done. My brain is completely turned on and if I go to sleep, it'll be in 2 hours. And so I looked at my phone. I was hoping for 3:30, 3:45, 3:50. And I see 2:45 and I'm like, I'm cooked. I'm so cooked. And so in my mind, I am like an old school Nintendo where you put the cartridge in to play the game. And so the cartridge that I put in was, it's going to be a hard day. Prepare yourself. And in my head, I was still like, how do I get out of this? Do I just not do it? But the moment I started thinking like, what if I don't do it? I mean, you'll always be a person on my shoulder. I will tell you that. You will always be a person on my shoulder. And I just imagine telling you like I'm not going to do it. And I could just imagine your face and you squeezing out the words just because you feel like you have to. But the face says it all. I'm like, oh, okay, it's all right, like, yeah. Maybe you say something, but like, my point is I will always have you on my shoulder of like, no, dude, you could do it. And like the pressure of, I guess, making you proud or getting your recognition or whatever is something huge over my life. I don't know if you've ever felt that or I don't think I've ever told you, but there's a first for everything. But it's huge. And so it's huge and it's a little bit of a pressure in regards to like sometimes I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit. There's times that I've done races with friends and you're like, don't you dare wait for them. I want you to do your best. Mm-hmm. Like you're just like, forget about your friends. Everyone's running their best race. And that's 100% like, I get it. But there is a part of me that goes like, what will they think? Should I be a nice guy and wait for them? Are we doing this as a team or whatever?
I feel like that's what practice is for. That's what training is for. Like if you're paying for a race, like you want to see how, like what's the best you can do.
Yeah, it's a test. It's a test to see how you've done. But anyways, so I woke up and I'm just like, it's gonna be a hard day. I'm like, how do I get out of this? Had you on my shoulder, and I'm like, no, I have to do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I'm gonna collapse. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And it was all these mental things like stacking one on top of the other. And I'm just like, and from the morning, I was just like, I could maybe crack a smile because we had friends coming over at 4:30s because we were gonna go together. And I'm like, I can maybe crack a smile, but like, I'm not gonna be the usual David. Like, and usually on race day, I'm happy. I'm like excited. I'm ready to go. I'm amped up to do my best. And I'm like, I was not there at all because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. I've never ran past 15 miles. And I'm like, I don't know what kind of pain. And then, oh my goodness, I have this like what is it, a friend group or something on Facebook. It's all dedicated to LA Marathon. And I read this one lady that goes, hey, I'm planning to drive into the LA Marathon, and I was wondering if I should stay the night or whatever. And everyone's asking her like, oh, where are you coming from? And Inland Empire, and that's like the most like 2 hours or whatever. And I'm like, go home. But everyone was like, no, just like stay. The amount of pain that you're going to be in and blah, blah, blah. Like, and then that's just another thing. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? I have no idea. I have not trained in the last 8 weeks. I haven't done more than 4 miles. Like, I have no idea. I'm sick. I'm tired. No sleep. Like, everything. And I'm just like, I'm going into the unknown. And the whole time, though, I did have another thing on my shoulder. I had said it here. I had said it on my Better Every Mile Instagram. And I said, this one is going to be for all the people that have planned to do something great and life threw them a curveball. And that, I think, was part of my motivation big time. Because one thing that I did want to prove to myself and to everybody, and now I could sit here and be a living testimony of it, is that a lot of us, there's some people that, you see are like willy-nilly and you're just like, what are you going to make of yourself, right? But there's the other people that really care about what's going to happen with their life. They really care about doing the right things. They care about the nutrition. They care about being spiritually well and physically well, mentally well, emotionally well. They're doing all the right things. They're trying to go down the right path. Like you could see it as also like a contrast is like somebody who's going down a financial journey and wants to do all the right things, but boom, life throws them a curveball and there's a bill or the car breaks down or whatever. Like there's those people that are really trying to make things happen the right way and life just throws them a curveball. And then you're at a crossroads of like, what do I do? Do I just quit and just say, I'll try again next year? Or do you keep going forward with your broken wheels and your busted ego and your busted motivation? Like, do you keep going? And so I really wanted to put that on my back. That one I wanted to put it on my back. I took it on like willfully. And I'm like, I want to do this for myself and for those people because it's so much easier to just stop. It's so much easier to just quit. It's so much easier to be like, it didn't work out. Or it's so easy to be like, God didn't want me to do it. All the signs pointed that God didn't want me to do it. And like the question that is presented is, what if God does want you to do it in spite of all these things? What if God wants you to persevere? What if God wants you to realize what's inside of you? What if God wants you to realize like it's not always going to be perfect, but the opportunity to be able to accomplish something is still there? And I'll always go back to that. I mean, it gets me every time, the whole chosen thing, little James, and he's like, why haven't you healed me? And he's like, it's easy for somebody to get healing from me. Like I could do it in a snap of a finger, but it's more of a testimony. Like how great is a man that can go through hardship and continue having faith and continue trusting God and continue, being a blessing to other people, right? So that was on my back. And I'm like, this is going to be a hard day, but I have the motivation to like go into this unknown and fight for myself and fight for all these people. And like, it sounds weird to say that, but I truly felt like I was fighting for all the people just for the simple fact that now I can sit here and be like, it is possible. It's not going to look the way that you want it to look. The journey's not going to be how you planned it out to be, but that you can cross that finish line, you can cross that finish line. And if it's your first time, as it was my first time doing a full marathon, that is now your baseline. It's only up from here if you keep going. So I had that on my shoulders, and our friends come, and I'm like, I'm trying to film because I want, again, for it to be a testimony. I'm trying to film whatever, and the whole time just like mentally trying to lock in. We jump in the car, we go. We're thinking that we have a lot of time. Turns out that the moment that we got close to our parking, it was mayhem. Like, to get to our parking, I didn't even know where the real parking was. Like, there was like 6 or 7 different options. But anyways, long story short, we got parking, we got out, and we're sitting in line waiting to get onto the shuttle. And I filmed it. And I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I have no idea. You guys were all like, woo! We got in this shuttle, which was a party bus. Mm-hmm. And everyone on the party bus is like excited. Yeah. You're excited. Jonathan's excited. Sam's excited. And I'm sitting there like, just no. And it wasn't that I didn't want to do it, but it was just like, I don't have the energy. I don't have the mental capacity to be able to give up that energy. I need to focus everything that I have onto what I'm about to do. Mm-hmm. So we get off the party bus or whatever. It's like a 30-minute ride. We get there. We're trying to scramble because we're kind of late. I think we landed there right at 6:55 or something like that. The race started at 7. But I mean, it's 27,000 people running it. And so it takes some time to, get the waves going and stuff. So we weren't that worried. We got warmed up, whatever. The thing that I did love is we did a prayer before, which was really nice. And then me and you walked to the start line, and we filmed it. We got that. And I know you were excited. I didn't fully grasp the excitement, but I was happy to be doing it with you. And then we started, and right off the get-go, I guess maybe I started off too fast because I remember you were like, this is the part where you leave me, or you said something like that. And I'm like, why? You're just like, oh, we're going uphill. Because you had already done the first 6 miles. Yeah. And so you already knew what to expect. And I think I was going maybe at 11. And you were like, you're just going to have to leave me behind because, I'm not going to do it at that pace. I don't want to kill myself. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stay with you. So I wanted to stay with you because I wanted to do it with you as much as possible, but also you were going to be my pacer. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we slowed down. We went through it. And I think, for all the race, I was mentally in it. I do remember, like, going through Chinatown and seeing like the people hitting the drums and, the people screaming, but I didn't really take it in. I was like focused on what we were doing. Mm-hmm. But again, it was really nice to run it with you. And the crazy thing is that I ended up running 15 miles nonstop with you, which was a miracle in itself. Mm-hmm. I started feeling sort of discomfort on my knee at around mile 6.5. But I'm like, oh, like right now it's a 1, maybe a 2 out of 10. I'm like, I'll be fine. So we keep going. And then your sister texts us and she's like, oh, hey, I got here. They got there really early, like 8:30 or something like that, like super early. And I was kind of like trying to convince them, like, why would you go? Like, honestly, if I was taking care of their kids and they gave me the option to not go, I'd be like, I'm not going. Like, the parking's crazy. Getting to where you're going to be is crazy. Like, trying to figure out where your loved ones are in the race or whatever is crazy. But they got there and they messaged you like, we're at mile 13. And we were, I forget what mile we were on when they said that, but I think we were somewhere like around 6, 7, 8, something like that. And I'm like, oh, I think I can make that. And we get to mile 10 and like it was starting to give me a little more discomfort. And I'm like, 3 more miles. It's 5K. And then I'm going to see my kids. My kids are going to motivate me. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait. And I was already like picturing it. And like in my mind, I was already getting emotional. And I'm like, all right, let's go, let's go, let's go. And the thing is, to be honest, to be completely honest and transparent, my pride carried me a good amount. And the reason why I say that is because I did not want them, which it happened anyways, but I did not want them to see you without me. I didn't want them
to see mommy first.
Yes,
You didn't want to see
yes.
not just me without you, because if it was you first, you would have been fine.
Yes, 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 yes. And so I'm like, I can make it to mile 13. No problem. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're going to run. We're going to see them together. And they're going to see mom and dad. Like, they know that I'm injured, but like, we're going to see us together. And when we get to mile 13, you tell me, oh no, I have bad news. And I'm like, what? And you go, Melody just told me that they're not at mile 13. They're actually mile at 18. That they mixed up. And I'm like, I got so mad. I got so mad because I feel like that was like fueling me. And then to hear that they weren't there, it took the wind out of my sails. And I had to, again, like, I was already focused. I was already dealing with everything that I was dealing with mentally. And I was getting like a little glimpse of like, oh, I'm going to see them. It's going to be awesome, you know? Like, and then to be told that, I'm just like 18 and we were at mile 12. And I'm like, now it's just, let's see how far I can get. And so we're going. And around mile 15, there's a downhill. And the thing with the IT band syndrome, for whatever reason, I don't know the anatomy or how it works, but downhill actually affects your pain more than flat or incline. And so we hit the downhill and I'm like, the pain started like getting to like 5, 6, got to like 8. And not only that, but my heart rate was getting up to like 180 at that point. And I'm like, okay, I'm at mile 15. There's still 11 more miles to go. I'm like, I think this is it. Not that I was going to stop, but I'm like, I think this is it. To the point of like, I'm going to have to be smart about the rest of this race. I can't kill myself to 200 and then just flop over and just quit at mile whatever. 18, 20, whatever it was. Like, my plan was I wanted to cross that finish line. And I kept telling myself, it might not look exactly how you want it to look, but that you're going to cross, you're going to cross. And so around a little before mile 15, I think I told you, I turned it to you and I'm like, at mile 15, I think it's time. And you're like, what? You're going to quit? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to quit. But I'm like, I don't think I could keep going with you. And then you said you got like emotional or something like that. I didn't see any of that.
I did. I got emotional because you were like, make us proud or something.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'm like, make us proud because I know that you had a goal. Mm-hmm. And at the time that I left you, we were like a little above where we should have been, but like 9 seconds off. Because your goal was to do it in 5 hours. And to do that for a 26.2 mile race, you have to be at about 11:30 pace. So we were at 11:39. So that I was just like, okay, we've done more than half of it. I'm like, I feel like, you know, she's kind of set up to get there, or if not, really, really close to it. And so I was just like, yeah, go make us proud. Go, you know, accomplish your goal. And I know like how important, I mean, I think the whole world knows now how important goals are to you. And so I'm like, go get it done. And it was like it was past mile 15. It was like mile 15.25 or something like that. I lasted a little bit longer. But you left, and then I started walking. And then I was just like walking, running. I would walk 1 mile, run 1 mile, walk 1 mile, run 1 mile. And there's a clip, I don't know if you noticed that, but there's a clip in one of the videos that I put out of the marathon where at the end of the clip, I put, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to make it. And my voice cracked because I was like, at that point, I'm like, I was getting emotional. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And that was at mile 8. No, before mile 18. I don't know, mile 16 or 17, I don't know. But I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but we're going to figure this out. Or my voice cried. And I'm just like, that was one of the times where I was just like, oh man, like, but that emotion, I think I turned it around and I was just like, this is motivation. Like I'm going to get this done. There's so many other people that are in the middle of their whatever race. It doesn't have to be like a running race, but in the middle of their race. And they're also looking around and saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like they're in the middle of starting their business and something happens. And like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I just was thinking about all those people. And I'm like, so many people are saying like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I'm like, it takes willpower at that point to just keep moving forward. And so, yeah, I just kept going. I mean, long story short, I saw the kids at mile 18, which was, holy smokes, so emotional to see them. But it was so motivating. And then I started, like, when I was walking my 1 mile, I was texting people and they were motivating me. A lot of people were motivating me, which was super appreciated. That encouraged me a lot to know how much people love me and like support me and want to see me win or whatever. That was really, really beautiful. And yeah, it just kept going. And the crazy thing, and you were talking about this, is mile 18. The moment you get to mile 18, you see the finish line. Or mile 18 or mile 20, something like that. You see the finish line, and it's crazy because they take you like throughout this like humongous loop. They call it the loop of death. But I mean, it's like, I still feel like if I was properly trained, that I wouldn't have cared. I'm like, I'm going, like, let's go. Like,
No, that thing was horrible.
yeah, you were saying that was horrible. There's a lot of people that call it the loop of death. And it just like, it take you, and it seems like forever that you're going. You're just like, the finish line's right there. And I think that's what gets to most people. It's like, I keep running farther and farther away from the finish line and I'm tired. And as I'm running farther, I know how much the distance is to go all the way back and how long it's going to take me. It's just like, I can see how that mentally gets to you. But that it was a hot day. It was a hot day. I think they said that it peaked at 91 or something like that. It was so hot. It was so hot. But long story short, run, walk. When I was close to the end, Elijah met up with me and we ran a little bit, which was really nice. And crazy enough, when I was doing the clips and stuff, I got this audio. You guys might have seen it on my Better Every Mile, but it was this audio basically like saying like it's Patrick Bet David talking about fathers and how a father can move forward no problem if the people around him don't like him. But it's the only people that he cares about their opinion is his family and his kids, and how one day these kids are going to realize why their dad did the hard things, why their dad seemed like they were going against the current, why their dad seemed like they weren't doing what everybody else was doing and they were doing hard things, whatever. And that just got me. But yeah, crossed the finish line, a lot of pain. But it got done. It got done. And the moment that I crossed the finish line, I just said out loud, like, we can do hard things. But yeah.
And you feel ready, excited for that you signed up for a Long Beach Marathon?
Yes. Me and my wife have already signed up for the Long Beach Marathon. That one has to be the one where, I mean, you're already jinxing me and stuff, but it's all good.
I'm not jinxing you.
Yes, you're already like, oh, let's see if you show up without an injury. But
you're making me sound like a mean wife.
The plan is that I'm going to show up without injury, that I'm going to train properly, and I'm going to destroy that thing. The goal is to do that within 4 hours. So if I could do it within 4 hours, granted, my time was 5 hours and 49 minutes when my original goal was to do it under 4 hours. So I tacked on an hour and 49 minutes onto my marathon time. And that's why I'm more motivated than ever to get right, to be healthy, to do all the right things, to be able to get to this Long Beach Marathon and actually do 4 hours, because it's not every day that somebody shaves an hour and 49 minutes off of their marathon time. So to do that, I'm like, it's going to be an accomplishment. Yeah. But Tell us about your journey with the marathon.
I was super excited for like I woke up. I did feel a little bit sick, but I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's our body that it's the stress. I don't think it's like an actual cold. I think it's the stress because the same thing happened to me at the Long Beach half. Where I was like stuffy nose. I feel like I couldn't breathe, and I was like, "What?" And then I just kept telling myself like the adrenaline will keep me through.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like shoved the cold aside. And I kept seeing people say, like, treat the race day as your celebration. Like, you put in the hard work. And I'm like, yeah, I freaking paid almost $300 for this race. I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I'm not going to enjoy it. And so I was super excited trying to make the most of it. I was excited to be running with you. And I feel like you helped me a lot because, honestly, I feel like, I don't know, would I have walked with you without you? Like, probably, I don't know. Like, you by my side.
You wouldn't have walked. No way.
You by my side. I was like, there's no weak link. Like, I'm not going to be the weak link. And so I just...
You're so prideful. The fact that pride is your fuel is crazy.
No, it's not pride. It's
what?
I don't know.
The way that you just said that is...
Excellence.
Okay.
And so that was nice. I was just wish you were like in a better headspace so like we could really live in the moment.
Yeah, I get you because while we were running, this girl was like, if you guys ever, have you guys ever been in a theater trying to watch like this movie that you really want to watch and you really want to focus on? And then you have this friend, this spouse, this girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, just like talking about whatever the movie is happening in the movie, like while you're trying to concentrate. That's what I felt like. I was like, I'm trying to focus on just making it as far as I can. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at that lad over there. Oh my gosh, what do you think about that?
The lad?
And honestly, all I was giving her, and I felt bad. I did feel bad, and I told her that after. I'm like, I gave no like facial emotions, and I was just giving her a yes or a no. That's it. And there's times where she would not ask me a yes or no question, and I would just keep running. And I did feel bad because I know that you were enjoying it. You were taking it in.
Yeah.
And I know that if I was like in a better place, I know I would have enjoyed it too. Because in all the other races that I've done regarding running, like I've always told everybody, I'm like, you will feed off of the energy of all the people like cheering you on, you know, like, and the LA Marathon was cool because they had like DJs, they had bands, they had like 3 or 4 like drummer groups, whatever. Like,
they had a quartet in Rodeo Drive doing the Bridgerton.
They had a lot of cool things. Yeah, and then you just have a bunch of strangers just cheering you on. Like it's an awesome time, but like, yeah, I just wasn't in the headspace to.
Yeah. So that I feel like I was trying to, like, I was enjoying it and I was just like, we would enjoy this more if you just pep up a little bit, but I don't know what it's like to run with an injury. And then, yeah, I did get emotional when you said goodbye to me. Like, my throat was like, I feel like I couldn't breathe properly. Like, my throat was constriction. I'm like, I'm not going to cry. Like, I have a lot of makeup on. I'm not going to cry. And then seeing my kids got me super emotional. No, by mile, when I left you, but you left me, you told me to go. By mile 16, I was chafing. And I felt slowing down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I'm slowing down. And I was trying to run, like, a little bit my legs separated, but I'm like, I can't keep this up. And so I was grabbing, and I wish I grabbed Vaseline way before I like ever started chafing. That was my error number one. Like, cause you would see people with Vaseline and I was just like, oh, don't need that. And when I started grabbing it, like it was not helping it. And I would grab more and I'm like, when is this gonna work? Like my poor thighs.
No, once you chafe, like it's done. You're done.
Yeah.
You're
and
done.
so that I'm like, oh, I could have gone, like how much faster could I have gone if I wasn't chafing? Because it was.
You think it slowed you down?
Yeah, it was every time my thighs, like I was dreading it closing my leg, like it hurt so bad. And I was like, why do I have to have? I don't even have thick thighs, but I was like, why couldn't I just be so skinny that my thighs didn't touch? I was like, oh, this is annoying. So that hurt. And so when I saw my kids, I was like emotional. I was like, oh, like I'm in pain because of it wasn't like my legs or anything. It was just like the chafing. But I never had the thought, even at the end of the quote unquote like loop of death, I never thought like, what if I don't finish it? Like I knew I was going to cross, like I knew it was not going to be an issue. Another thing, my main concern, I always kept hearing about the hills. I told you, like, that's like at the bottom of my list. The number one thing on my list that I was worried about was using the restroom. Like, I did not want to stop. That's going to take away time.
Right. Yeah.
That was my number one concern because my half marathon training, even post that, like going higher than half marathon, I didn't have to pee. The only time I had to pee, it was, I was doing 17 miles and it was just a 5K over and over and over again. And I kept passing the restrooms. And so I feel like my mind, like it got to me and it's like, just use the restroom. Just use it, like just seeing the same restroom. Like what if you don't see it a mile too and then you have to pee? Like, And so that's the only time I stopped and peed. But it was like kind of like a curse. Ever since then, every long run after that, I needed to pee. And I'm like, oh my, what if I just like got my body used to it? And so I was so paranoid, like I'm going to have to pee. I'm going to have to pee. So I feel like I didn't hydrate properly because my bladder was already full. I had to pee before I started running. But the porta potties, the lines were disgusting. You guys, the Dodger Stadium, the hills are disgusting.
Don't ever go to the hills.
Don't let your kids run around in the hills.
Oh my goodness.
You see like 50 men and women going to the hills.
Yeah, there was women there.
Yeah, men were peeing. Like you just see all of them facing different direction, peeing. Women coming out of the hills, I'm assuming, having to do the thing. And David's like, are you going to go to use the restroom? First we started in the porta potty line, but we're like, it's not moving. Like, and we were going to be already like, the pacing was already like past 6 hours.
Yeah.
And so I told the guys like they had a pee. So I was like, I know they were in the porta potty line for me because they were already willing to do that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pee. I'm just not going to pee. Like, you guys go into the hills. And like, okay. So they went into the hills. And so I already had a pee before, like I peed at like 3:30 when I was getting ready. And so my bladder was already full. And so I feel like I wasn't drinking as much water, not because I didn't want any or my body didn't want any, but because I was afraid of peeing. And every time we kept seeing the porta potty line, like I kept telling myself like, maybe there's nobody in line. Maybe, no, there was like 4 or more people like in line for each porta potty. And so the last, I want to say like 5K, I started feeling like, oh, the heat's getting to me. Like the heat's getting to me. I'm like, oh my God, I was down to myself. Like, did I not hydrate enough? But my bladder was so full. I felt like I was going to explode. And I was just like, no. And I would drink a little bit and then like toss the rest on me because like the heat was getting to me.
You know what you should have done is, especially from mile 20 to 25 in that death of loop or loop of death, there was a lot of restaurants there. If I were you, I would have just walked into a restaurant and be like, can I use your restroom?
Yeah, I didn't want to waste my time though. I did not want to waste my time. Because I saw, remember there was one, like people were running into like a park something. It looked like they were going in. But I'm like, what if I get in there and there's like a bunch of people? Because I'm sure like it's not an original idea. And there's no really much shade. When you're in the ring of death or the loop of death or whatever, like there's not much shade.
Yeah, there's no shade and it was hot.
It was so hot. And then I remember getting cooling towel. Like I got 3 cooling towels. Like people were putting it in ice water and I'm just like grabbing it from like people like who are offering it and just putting it on my back. My back, you could like, I already knew it was going to be burnt. And so I did start feeling like, what if I pass out like out of dehydration? But I was just like, and I didn't want to walk because I already knew like with the chafing and me like stopping to get all the waters and stuff like that, I was already behind on schedule. And I did get, I stopped twice to get the
icy hot.
I thought for me it was more mental. I was like, I'm just going to pretend like it works. I don't know if it honestly worked.
Was your knee bugging you though?
Everything just started like hurting, but it was not like a pain that I couldn't push through. But I was like, maybe it'll help me with the comfort. And hopefully, wish I would like told them, but I was embarrassed to tell them like put it on my inner thigh. I don't know if it was gonna help or not, but I was too embarrassed. But I'm like, maybe if it just like starts the wind, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told myself like, I'm only gonna walk when I get water, when I'm drinking, because I have not mastered the run and just with the cup, like just chug it. For whatever reason, I could do it with my own little bottle. But when it's like an open cup, if I run, that thing is going all over my face. I'm gonna drown myself.
You just have to pinch it.
I know, but I can't like just chug it. I don't know how to explain it. So it's like a mess. So that at that, I didn't stop at all until the ring of, I keep calling it the ring of death. The loop of death. And I was so tired and like I felt like I was gonna pass out that I gave myself permission. Okay, when you get a water, sip it, walk, and then when you're done, 2-3 sips, whatever, then just start running again. But I was like, what if I pass out? And then I was just like, well, someone will carry me out. Like, that's what it is. Like, you either run it and you finish it, or like someone will carry you out. What did help is like knowing, okay, I have family members and friends who are at the end, and like, no one's going to see me walk. No one. And so I would just like, it was just pride that carried me. And I did it. And I was disappointed in myself. I'm not going to lie. I finished 5 hours and 17 minutes. I did cheat my Garmin. I stopped it. That thing said 2.6 or whatever, 2.2. My marathon's done. I don't care about their lack.
You know what's funny though? That like I've ran with you before. We ran the Red Canyons in Vegas, and we said we were going to do 10 miles or something like that, right? And right when 10 miles goes, you're just like, you stop running, you take off your watch, and I'm like, well, the car's still like quarter mile up. I'm like, I'm just gonna run there or whatever. And you're like, no. But the funny thing is that you're in the middle of the race and you already know that there's people at the end. You stopped your watch.
I stopped my watch. I kept running, but I stopped my watch.
But you kept running because just out of pride, just like, because if you didn't know people that you knew were waiting for you at the end, you would have walked.
Maybe, yeah.
No, you would have walked.
No, but I knew there was cameras. I knew I wanted to come out looking good in my pictures. And I'm paying for that picture packet. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm going to, like, what does my watch say? Like,
so what did your watch say?
It said 5 hours, 15 minutes. It's not that off.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 minutes off.
Yeah.
It wasn't that off. But I stopped it. And I also stopped it because I don't want my finale picture. Like, so many people, you see them in their picture at the end, like, stopping it.
Yeah.
And they're not like smiling. I was like, I'm going to like enjoy it.
You're so worried about your pictures.
I'm going to enjoy it. And then I'm like 2.62, boom, I'm done. I did a full marathon according to my Garmin. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
But I finished at 5 hours and 17 minutes. That's the official time, not my watch time. My watch time said 5 hours and 15. Even though David said that's what counts. And then he's keeping me to my marathon time. And I was disappointed in myself. Like when I saw the guys like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. No one was disappointed in me. Like everyone was like, good job, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed. Cause then I'm like, oh, what if I didn't chafe, like if I was smarter about that, if during the little times I walked, like I kept going, even though I feel like my body at that moment needed it, but you just later when you start feeling normal, you're like, oh, I could have done it. Until the next day, I was like kind of like down on myself a little bit. Like I was excited, I ran it. But until the next day is where the high hit. I'm not going to say names.
No,
I know you were worried.
No.
I'm not going to say names.
Okay.
The high hit when I found out multiple people, I'm not gonna say it's one person. Multiple people had goals. We all have goals. Why else would we be running a marathon? But some people have goals like, oh, I'm just gonna finish it, right? Like we're in a group of friends where we don't think the goal is just to finish it. We think like we've been training for this, we're gonna hit a certain number.
Yeah.
And they're men. I'm the only female friend. They're men. They've been running. Everyone has been running longer than me. Well, not everyone. Shout out to Danny. You did a great job. He was in the hospital, but that's his story to tell. He did an amazing job. Besides him, everyone else has been running longer than me. They're stronger, like go to the gym more often. And no one hit their goal. No one. But I was not that far behind them, you guys. When I found out, like I was not, I'm not going to say numbers because then people will know who I'm talking about because it's all like public knowledge. But when I found out I was very close to them, oh, no one could tell me nothing. I was in my peak.
That's pride. Yeah.
High.
Every time you speak, it's all about pride.
I was in my peak high because I was like, oh my goodness, like it was not that hard actually. I'm not saying it's not that hard actually, but like I could have done it. Mm-hmm. And so I started feeling good. After that, I'm like, why am I feeling bad about myself? And then I felt like I'm on top of the world, and I've been on top of the world ever since then because I'm going to beat the guys. Just kidding. I don't know. They're faster than me, 100%. Like, the takeaway is they're faster than me, but I think women just have a different mental capacity. Mm-hmm. And the last 6 miles was all mental. And I feel like I was mentally strong the last 6 miles. I'm not going to say stronger, but I was mentally strong. That's all I'm going to say.
I have a question though. If those people didn't exist, if those friends didn't exist, if it was just me and you, would you have carried on with that disappointment?
Yeah, I probably would have. Because I have nothing to compare to.
But why compare at all?
Because I was comparing myself to my goal. Mm-hmm. And I didn't reach my goal.
So you wouldn't have found any solace in that? Any solace in like, I did give it my all. This is what my all looked like today.
No, because I felt like I didn't give it my all because it's like I walked. And me is like, giving it your all is like, you run even if you faint.
Well, I will challenge you a little bit. Because everyone and their mama saw you. They saw you in person. They saw you in pictures. They saw you in videos. And everybody on social media, the people that weren't there, the people that were there were like, oh my gosh, you made this look so effortless. Like, you look amazing. Like, you look like, I don't know, you're in some sort of photo shoot. Like, you look like this is the easiest thing in the whole world to you or whatever. Granted, I do appreciate you, like being transparent and saying the areas where you struggled and what you were thinking about.
I'm always transparent.
But to everybody else, though, you were, oh my gosh, so amazing, whatever.
No, but...
And what I said was, if you look that good while you're running, you're not running hard enough.
No, but I honestly think, this is my honest opinion. I'm always transparent. If people ask me, how do you feel? I'm going to tell them. I feel like I'm going to tell them. Mm-hmm. If they don't ask, that's on them. People who ask, how was it? Oh, no, I started chafing at this smell. Like, it was, If they don't ask, they're going to be like, oh, the picture, she looks awesome, whatever. I honestly think I'm going to look good through it all. That's just my opinion. Because I'm going to do my makeup, because for me, it's the celebration. And
no, it's not just the makeup, though. You literally always...
The marathon is my runway. It's my runway. And I'm going to celebrate and I'm going to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be smiling. And when I see people, I'm going to be smiling. I don't know. It's just my brain. So I honestly think I can push myself to the max. And I feel like I'm going to look good through it all. And I don't sweat. No, I don't sweat. No, I would do it in the summer. Remember I would run in the summer for the thing? Mm-hmm. It's very difficult for me to sweat.
The only reason why I challenge you on this, and I already told you this, but I'm going to say it again, is because I have seen you do your runs and come back and you look miserable.
100%. But you've only seen me be miserable in my short runs. I hate short runs. For whatever reason, mentally, like 3 miles, like I'm like, this is dumb. Like, why am I running? I love my long runs. I look forward to my long runs. I don't mind waking up early for my long runs. If I have to wake up early for 3 miles, I'm like, what the heck is the point? Like, you've never seen me run in the morning. Mm. If you ever meant to. But I hate long runs. So yeah, you're going to see me, especially after a long day of work. Like, I'm miserable. I didn't want to run. I was exhausted. My Saturday, when have I come back from a long run? The weekends, you're like, you love it when I run in the weekend because I come back all excited. I'm high. I'm like, babe, whatever. Have you seen me coming back from a long run and be miserable?
No.
There you go. And he says I wasn't pushing myself. My heart rate says I was going to die.
No. Well, the other thing is, okay, I also think about, I follow people on Instagram, that like really strive for really great things. And the thing that comes to mind is I've never seen somebody go for their PR and smile the way that you smile. So either you're built different than everybody else, or you're really you're not pushing yourself.
But my heart rate, though, I was at 2, max.
Granted, you weren't wearing your chest strap, though.
What is it? I PR'd on a max heart rate. I was at 203 or something crazy like that. Like, my heart rate said, like, that's the only reason I would walk, because I'm like, I'm going to pass out. Yeah. Like, I'd be like 197. I'm like, I need to get my heart rate down. Like, after you left me, I don't think my heart rate ever saw 170. So, like, you saying that, like, I'm probably going to even do faster in the Long Beach Marathon. Mm-hmm. My heart rate will probably be lower. And you're going to be like, you could push it. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, I'm going to still be smiling.
Well, I mean, I will give you, in a marathon, you really have to be strategic. And that is good that you were watching your heart rate. Because you shouldn't be going crazy. Because we did actually experience that. We experienced these really young kids, look like middle schoolers or high schoolers.
Yeah,
there was a big group of them.
Run LA.
And they went hard off the hop. And in the middle of the race, you see them all walking because They just blew all their gas in the beginning.
Or I would see like people on the sidewalk, like people like getting a cramp, like trying to rub it out, or someone who like literally they were like trying to revive her because she like passed out.
Okay, that's dramatic, but she did get put on a stretcher. Yeah, but revive her.
No,
like she was having a
fanning
stroke.
her, like she was there, like
reviving her. You said though.
So I think I went as hard as probably not as I could have gone, because I could have gone and like passed out like 100%, but as like a healthy, like to cross.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look better than the men doing it each and every time. That's a given.
But then I go back to the question, like if those people that you could compare yourself to did not exist, or if they would have just actually got their goals and smoked you completely, like what then?
Yeah, I would have been disappointed in myself. And maybe that's not a healthy thing. Maybe you're like, okay, she needs to go to therapy. And maybe I do. But I've ever since a little kid, like if I know what an A is, I'm going to want it.
But but let me phrase this in a different way then. Which I guess you kind of already answered, but because for me, like, I mean, our family motto is Garcias try their best, right? And so I can walk away from this marathon saying, in the conditions that I had, like everything that I was dealing with, I tried my best. I gave it my all. And so regardless if I like it's a little embarrassing. Like I told my boss, like, oh, I ran a marathon. He's like, oh, how fast did you do it? I was a little embarrassed to tell him like, oh, 5 hours and 49 minutes or whatever, you know, like for me, it's a little embarrassing, but I'm like, can I walk away from this race saying I gave it my all? I'm like 100%. So like my question is to you then, does that not bring solace to you that you felt like you did the best you can? Like you kind of already answered, like you didn't feel like you did, but you kind of are answering that you kind of feel like you didn't give your best and that you did give your best. And so,
yeah, because for me, my best is like, how do I say this? Okay. I have an idea of how I'm going to say it, and hopefully it translates into what I'm meaning. Mm-hmm. But you know how you said like, so my siblings, my sisters at least, like sing really, really well. And you know how you're like, maybe you could have sang well, but like we would have never known because you didn't try or whatever like that. Like I don't see it as like failing because I didn't try. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like if I never ran the marathon, like obviously like I wouldn't care, right? Maybe that's not like the best example, but like my example is like the only way for me to have been not feeling bad about not getting my goal is if like I pass out and I can't complete it. And I'm gonna be like, I tried my best. Because no one can say, look, she didn't. Right?
So what you're saying is that you were in between not trying at all and passing out, and that in between
sucks.
Doesn't leave room for being proud of yourself.
Exactly. So I either have to be like how I would during school, kind of. You always said, what's the word? Like sabotage yourself? Where it's like, oh, I didn't study. I slept late. I either have to like sabotage myself or like beat it. There's no in between for me.
But then that kind of affirms what I said then.
No, because I was smart about it. You have to be smart about it in a marathon.
What the?
But
you're just you're like dodging everything.
But that's why I was disappointed in myself. I was disappointed in myself until I compared myself to the men, and I realized I might be better than the men.
All right. Well, kind of moving on from this, I would say that you should be proud, regardless of comparing yourself to other people. I mean, we've said it on this podcast, and I hope that you guys see Grace and you take the good from her and the things that are not that great.
No, but so like I said.
Because comparison should not be a thing.
100%. I think, again, maybe it's not a healthy thing, but I feel like I'm a 3. And we know I'm like an achiever. And I am my biggest competitor because I did not get into this race. I feel like where it could get unhealthy is like I only got into this race to beat people around me, to be my friends. Like I got in it like, well, I was kind of a little joke with you, but at the end of the day, I didn't have to, like you wouldn't have seen me less if I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. And then I am my biggest competitor. I'm like, well, how can I be better than myself? How can I be better than myself? But when it came to like the time thing, it was just like, oh, okay. Like it was like a treat, I guess you can say. But yeah, I'm only doing this like for me and like to get better for me. Mm-hmm. But I did feel strong. I was excited. Like it was a celebration again of like the hard work being put and just seeing. I think it's also comparison can be a good thing when you see like, again, at that point, it's like how hard someone has trained and like, look how hard you've come when you were not even at the same. You know, like how in life you don't get the same advantage. Like people are born in wealth. People are born with networking. People are born with healthy families, unhealthy families. And when you compare and you're like, I had a disadvantage in this area of my life, but I worked hard and now I'm close to them.
Yeah.
Like that, you're just like, wow, I'm badass. Like I worked hard. Like no one could take that away from you. And I feel like the same way, like when I compared, I had nothing to compare myself to. So I'm like, am I good? Am I not good? Like, how do you really gauge that? I don't have other people like running a marathon with me, but when I'm able to gauge, like they've been putting in work and working hard. Like you can't take away that they're not hard workers. And I'm like, I actually got close to them. Like, dang, you're able to quantify my hard work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how fast I got there. So I think that's what like gave me like the high. But it's all in good fun. Like it's competitive and like good fun. Again, I'm gonna be my biggest competitor. I'm gonna want to be better than I have in the past. But it definitely made me feel stronger. It made me be like, yeah, we can do hard things. How you've been saying. And I've been like checking out my quads ever since those pictures. Because it's so difficult when you train like day in, day out, day in, day out. You obviously don't see, like you always make fun of me, like you're not going to see overnight growth or whatever. And like you don't. But when you do this race or when you see the pictures and you're just like, dang, I did not know I had like quad muscles like that or whatever. Like you're just like, okay, it's actually working. Like it's actually working. And so I'm excited for the 30 weeks. I'm praying I don't get injured because I see like with overuse, again, I'm like new to this. And so that's a fear.
Yeah, but you barely run, so you'll be fine.
But that's not good either because then I'm not going to get faster.
That's on you.
I have to run more. Did you see my training? My short runs have to be like 7 miles.
So going back to the marathon, let's see. What is the one thing that you can walk away from this? The one memory that you'll never forget about that your first marathon or this LA marathon?
I think you said one thing. I think two things.
Sure.
I think our need for our love community to come out and support, because I felt like a little girl, like at an assembly looking for her parents, you know, I might cry. And I told like Melody, like, you don't have to show up because we said like, it's going to be hard. I personally would rather run than spectate, like 100%. It's so annoying. Like the logistics of that, the pressure of like, what if I miss them? And that's it. What, because I missed your half marathon. So like, I feel like, I'm like, I do not want that pressure.
Yeah.
That's probably why I'm going to be running every time you run. And so, but you feel like, I felt like a little girl, like just waiting, like, and you feel like you don't need it. Like I genuinely was like, I don't need it. Like I could run. But when you're in pain and when you're like discouraged, because at that point I was like chafing and I was like, oh, this freaking sucks. And you're tired and you're like, I need like another like dose of motivation. I need energy, and you know they're gonna give that to you. And I know they were coming in close, and I just felt like a little kid, like, where are they? Are they gonna be there? And then the emotions come up when you see them, and then my kids seeing me, like, I wanted to get into tears. And then same thing at the end when I saw my friends. Shout out to Priscilla and Amy, like at the end of the finish line, like Grace. When I saw them, like I was about to cry again. And so definitely. Like that you need that, like whether you realize it or not. I don't know, I'm getting emotional. And then the second thing is like how sweet strangers are, which
yeah.
Like I feel like we live in a world where it's like you're busy, and so you just go, and you don't realize like most people are nice, or you're on social media where people are so easily like willing to hurt people, criticize, like point everything that's wrong. And that's like one place where you see everyone wants to help a stranger. Like, do you need ice water? Like, do you need, like, I'm never going to forget when I was debating, you went to go get water, and I was debating, should I just like keep going or should I follow you? And this girl saw me hesitate and she ran and brought me water. Like, I did not even say I wanted water, but I'm assuming my face like was showing it. And she's like, you want some? And I couldn't even answer. And she's just like, I'm not going to wait for you to answer. And she ran it out to me. I was like, how sweet is that? Like, there were so many moments where people were so sweet.
Yeah.
And so they'd be like, water, no, electrolytes over there. Like, not the volunteers there also. Like, why would you volunteer for that? I don't know. But like, you're amazing. Thank you for volunteering. But the people not volunteering that just had things. Yeah. And so I think those two things were like, it made it super, super nice. And obviously emotional. I didn't think I was going to get emotional.
Yeah. I saw a clip that said, if you lose your hope in humanity, just run a marathon. 100%. And it's 100% true. Like, yeah, the amount of people that are there just giving away things. Like, I mean, some people might even think like, yeah, you spent money to just spend it on strangers. Like, people had like unlimited amounts of like oranges that they had cut up for people.
Yeah.
And there was people giving away water, electrolytes, gummies, candies, donuts, chili dogs, like
cooling towels,
so much things. And then the people that go out there like as DJs or music, just like to, you know, make everybody like have more motivation, whatever, like under that hot sun. I'd be, again, I personally be like, nah, like, let me just stay home, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a family member, shout out to Randy Garcia. He was like the trombone, and he wasn't playing with like a band. Like, it's just him
by himself.
And you're just like, it's a weekend in the morning in the hot sun, and you're just taking time out of your day, like, and that makes them happy. Like, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's crazy that all these people, and it was a lot. It wasn't just like a little bit here and a little bit there. It was like everywhere. Like, it was almost like they were trying to compete of who can outserve who. Like, and yeah, that was definitely amazing. And then I didn't get to see anybody else. I only saw Melody, Kevin, and the kids.
I saw Irving.
I didn't
Shout
see
out to Irving at the end. He was like, I know we saw Mike.
Oh, that's right. We did see Mike.
We saw Mike. I saw Randy. I saw my coworker Esme. She was like, the first time she was like, Linda. And then the second time I didn't like pay attention. So she's like, Linda. And I was like, and that just, again, anyone notices you calling your name. One thing that I do like about the Long Beach Marathon, because it's just like a smaller race. There's still a lot of people, but compared to the LA, so your bib has your name on it in the Long Beach. And so random people will be like, oh, go Linda. And you're just like, oh, that's cool. But the LA, like, they don't know who you are. So they can't say your name. And so I did like that about the Long Beach, because it does make a difference when people say that. And so my coworker like showed up, and she would text me, she's like, I have peanut butter sandwiches. Like, you let me know what you need. My sister, before I got there, she's like, are you going to need anything before you stop? Like, let me know. Do you need cold water? Do you need ice? Like, all of that makes a difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does. But the other thing that I was thinking about, I guess, kind of like a lesson, is for the people that set out to go do something, you'll probably have some people in your circle that will call you crazy for doing what you're doing, right? Let's use this example as running a race. Like, you have to be disciplined, right? You have to go to sleep early. You have to do long runs in the morning. You have to eat right. And like, you could be out with some friends and you can't eat what they're eating because you're trying to, dial everything in, or you're out with some friends and they want to go until 2 a.m, but you call it quits at like 9 or 10 or whatever. Like, there's some people that are not going to understand what you're doing. They're not going to be supportive, or they're not going to really get what you're trying to do. And so it's crazy to think that along the way, when you're doing like these hard things, these great achievements that you're going for, like, you're going to have people around your influence that will kind of seem like they fade into the background. But if the LA Marathon is anything like life, like, it'll show you that strangers will come and cheer you on. Strangers will come and support you. Strangers will come and be of help, and like, it's the way of life, but it's beauty in it too, because I think in an ideal world, when you first set out to do something, you expect everybody that you love to be there. But some of them might not be there because they don't want to. Some of them might not be there because they just can't. They have scheduling issues or whatever. Like, but then you go through this journey and you see like God has put strangers in your life to like cheer you on. And like you never expected it, but now you see like the beauty of the journey, you know, like, and that's something beautiful as well. Like
100%. What was that your biggest lesson?
My biggest lesson? Well, I think my biggest lesson was what I said, that you could do hard things, that even though you plan things to be a certain way, they might not turn that certain way, but that you can do it. You could still do it, to not quit, to keep moving forward. Let's see. I think that for me was the most memorable. Like the LA Marathon is one that I will never forget. And I actually have a real idea for that, which is going to be pretty good. I don't want to say it right here, but
stay tuned. Follow him.
I think it's going to be really,
at the bed of your mouth.
Really good and kind of funny. But yeah, I will never forget my first marathon. Never. It was such a beautiful one. And again, to me, it'll always be a living testimony of what somebody is capable of.
And I know you brought up that concern of like, a little bit of pride that came in your kids. But I told you like Elijah adores you because we were talking about it in the car. And we was talking about the marathon or something like that. And I was like, Elijah, were you surprised to see mommy first? Mm-hmm. And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, I was surprised to see daddy finish it with an injury. Like his eyes lit up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that little boy like understood. And he was in awe of you.
Yeah. And we had a quick talk with him after. And we're like, we accomplished something hard. Mm. And I'm like, you saw all the training that mommy did. You saw all the things that I had to go through. And I'm like, I just want you to walk away with one lesson, which is even when it's hard, keep going. Mm. Because something you see in kids a lot these days, especially, with parents that had a upbringing that was rough. They're the type of parents that will try to protect their kids from all that hardship, and because of that, the kids usually don't want to do anything hard, or they quit when it's hard because they're so used to like getting their way or like having this like level of comfortability. Mm-hmm. But I really want our kids to learn, like, even if it's hard, like keep going. And I do try to instill that in Elijah, especially because, he's getting older, whatever, like, and it's hard for kids to grasp that. So it's awesome to be that type of role model where they know, like, oh, mommy, like, it took a lot of training, like, that she did it. I was her, whatever. Like, for them to see that and to, like, hopefully always have that in their hearts or in their minds.
Yeah.
Just like if my parents could do hard things, I could do hard things. Like, I mean, we're planting seeds of a little champion.
I know, and I hope so, because there's sometimes like I come back and they're like, how many miles did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do miles. They were like Pilates or I did strength training. But like, they're like, how many miles? Like I wonder if they're, I think like Elijah can, like wrap his mind around like, oh, that's a lot of miles or that's not. But just the fact that he asks, like, how many miles did you do?
Well, he knows. He knows. For him, anything past 2 is a lot of miles.
But I wonder if he like hears like, when mommy did this miles, and he's just like, oh my goodness. So it is cool seeing that, and I hope like they do it. And I think Ariah's little, but I think they're there for a long time, and so they see all these runners, and they're like, okay, this is a long race. I think they kind of capture like this is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And then after, like, we couldn't even walk. So we're like, mommy and daddy.
You were like, don't ask us to play. Don't ask us nothing.
Like, yeah, they had to fend for themselves. And I literally couldn't sit or get up from a chair. I offered to drive because of your injury, and that hurt. But I did it. And so I wonder, like, what stories they'll tell when they're older. Like, yeah, I remember my parents both. And I wonder what the statistic is of parents running it, like, together. That'd be cool.
I think the other thing that I walk away with, and a lesson, I guess, that I would tell somebody is kind of like the whole Goggins thing. Because David Goggins' theory is when you think that you're done, Like when you think that you're physically done, you're only 30% of your capacity that you can go more. And that's definitely something like for me to go from 4 miles to 15 miles, I think was like, that's sheer willpower.
Yeah.
Because you usually like during training, like you start at 4, then you 5, 6, 7, you little by little. They say that you should never jump more than 10% of your long runs every single time. So you should be moving up. And for me to go from 4 to 15, like I told my PT that this week that just passed was my last session with him. And he's like, oh, how did it go? Tell me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I ran 15 miles. He's like, what the heck? He's like, I honestly was thinking about you. And I thought to myself, around 8 miles, he'll stop and start walking. Dang. And he's like, for you to go to 15. And that like just, again, reaffirmed that. Just like, when you think that you're done, you still got more. And a lot of times when we think that we're done, it's just our minds telling us like, stop.
But don't you I don't know, this might get into a tangent and we're almost going to wrap it up, but like him telling you that, like, don't you think that's kind of comparison? Like you're like, oh, I had nothing to compare it to. And then we're like, now I can compare it to like a physical therapist who knows and is like, wow, that's a big deal. Like, doesn't it kind of like affirm like, wow, I did great? Regardless
whether he said that or not, I thought I did great. I went from 4 to 15 miles. I didn't need anybody to tell me that was great.
I think just to go back into my comparison thing, because I do believe...
You don't want to let it go.
I do believe, like, God made humans, and I'm like, we're amazing beings. Mm-hmm. Like, we're incredible. And I had to remind myself, like, during my training process, like, I birthed out, like, 2 beautiful children. Like, my body can do amazing things. But there's moments, like, in my run or, like, whatever, when you're tired and you give up. And I told you this. I think I was telling you guys, I was like, this is kind of funny and I guess a little toxic. You'll see, like, how toxic I can get. But I would get tired and then I'd look at someone and I'm like, they're not going to beat me. You know, like, you just, like, pick someone that looks maybe weaker than you or whatever. You're just like, nah, this person, if they could do it, I can do it. And it's not like you're out to get them, but you're just like...
You're looking for ways to motivate yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I feel like I can't, like, the learned helplessness, like, I guess I don't have empathy for that, because it's like God made all of us. Like, you, just the fact that God made you and you're here on this earth is like it's a miracle in itself, and it's a big deal. So for anyone to say, like, I can't do that, like, it's a lie. Like, 100%. Like, I'm doing it. You're doing it. Like, look at the, I loved that there was another reel that, like, was so moving where it's like, do not say you can't do it. Say you don't want to, because there's people who don't have legs that are doing it. Yeah. People in, like, wheelchairs, people that got injured, and there's people carrying them across the finish line. Yes. So it's like, don't say that you can't do it. So, like, that learned helplessness, like, it's annoying because it's like, no, like, you can do it. We're all created in the image of God. Like, God gave all of us power, and, like, our bodies are amazing. You don't want to do it. You're too lazy to even try. Yeah. Because the fact that you can do it. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it goes with anything, really. And that's what I've loved. A lot of the lessons that we've learned through running can be transferred over to anything, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're talking about running right now, but this could be for any topic. Like, how many times have you wanted to do something but automatically said that you can't? And just you saying that you can't, like, I think there's a saying that goes, whether you can or whether you can't, whether you believe that you can or whether you believe that you can't, you'll be right. Like, it's just like a matter of your mentality, right? And so regardless of whatever it is that you think that you can't do, like, you can do it. It's just going to take work. Mm-hmm. It's just going to take work. That's it. It's going to take work, strategy, and even, again, circling back to my first point, just like, even if you have the best strategy, even if you have the best coach and blah, 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 life can still throw a curveball. Then what? And it just comes to a choice. You'll I said, save this over and over again. You always will reach a crossroads, and you either go this way or you go that way. Like, it's up to you. Like, it's a choice. It's always a choice. It's not like, oh, I guess I couldn't. No, it's a choice. Yes or no. What?
And I'm going to bring it back. That's where comparison, don't you think, is a good thing?
Oh my goodness.
But listen, don't you think it's a good thing? Because then
guys, should I just tell her that comparison is a good thing?
No, because listen.
Chat.
If I wish I had someone who like, I think there was a few people, but like in real life, if there's someone said like, oh, I have diastasis recta and I healed it, like you compare them to yourselves and you're like, I'm missing the mark. I can do it. Like they were able to do it. And that's good. Same thing with like how we said this. Like if you see someone like better, like don't compare. I think when you compare to lower yourself down, when you let it rob your joy, obviously that's negative. But when you use it as fuel to like, I can get there too.
I think, okay, in your original comparison situation,
It was to say I can get there too.
no, it wasn't. It was, they have been doing it longer than me, and I almost beat them.
And now I'm going to beat them.
My thing is more, it's a hope thing. Mine is like, this whole race is a living testimony that you could do hard things. And it's like I want to give you guys hope that you can do it. Like, it's not that you have to do it at my pace. It's not that you have to do it the way that I did it.
They look at you and they're like, they're comparing. If he can do it.
Not, if he can do it.
I can do it.
Not if he can do it at 5:49, I can do it at 5:40. That's your thing. It's simply just, if he can do it, I can do it. If he got this curveball thrown at him and he got all these mental blocks on top of him, I can relate to that. And if he could do it, I could do it. And I'm sitting here telling you guys that you guys can do it.
Yes, you can.
Like that is the whole point of what my story. What my story about this whole marathon has been.
Yeah.
Is that we can do hard things regardless of the things that come up. That we will want to quit. That we will have every excuse and every justifiable excuse to say, I didn't do it and here's why, and tell me that I'm wrong. But that you can do it, you can do it. Yeah, I think there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about, but it's slipping my mind. But is there anything else that you want to add towards your experience? Any lessons? Maybe you want to touch on like your preparation leading up to doing something great.
What do you mean by my preparation?
That's right. You didn't really prepare. Okay, move on.
I think one thing that I noticed post marathon, post race, that people started saying that started irking me, kind of going back to what we've been talking about. People are like, oh my goodness, like how awesome you did that. Oh, I'm not a runner. Like that irks me, because they're automatically saying like, I can't do that. And we're just going back to like, no, you just don't want to. Just say you don't want to. Say you're too comfortable. Say you're too lazy, like whatever, but don't say you can't. Because it has not even been a whole year, you guys, of me running. I started in the summer. It's springtime. And I already completed a half and a full. And when I tell you I was not a runner, I don't even know my like mile. Like people are like, oh, I used to run at 7-minute mile in middle school. Or like I used to do 13-minute miles. Like I have no idea, because I did not run 1 mile.
Let me just say it like this. You are not a runner. You are not a business person. You are not a financial savvy person until you decide that you are.
Yes. It's
as simple as that. Because if I were to have asked Grace last year, January, are you a runner? She would have immediately said, I am not a runner. And she was not a runner until she decided, I am a runner.
And if people told me like, would you ever be, I do a lesson every year, which I can't wait. We do a lesson. I teach 6th grade ancient civilizations, and ancient Greece comes up around like April. And so we're about to come up to it, and I'm so excited because there's a question on there. We talk about the Battle of Marathon and how it was done. And the Athenian, they won the war. they had to go run 26.2 miles to relay the information that
It
they
wasn't
won.
really 26.2,
But they believe.
yes.
And he died doing it. And they call it was the Battle of Marathon, and so they call it a marathon, that distance. And so one of the questions, like they have to talk about it, and then one of the questions, like, do you ever see yourself running a half marathon or a full marathon or whatever? And a few students say yes. So a lot of them are like, what the heck, no. And I would always be like, no. Literally last year, I said no to both of those things. And to be able to talk about that lesson and show them, like, not only did I do a half, look, you guys, but a full, like, it's insane to me. Like last March, I would have said no, or April or whatever. And it's like, wow. So then when people say like they can't or stuff like that, like now I'm noticing that's one of my lessons now, that like when people say that, I'm just like, that's not true.
And I just remember the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Before the marathon, you kept asking me, are you nervous? Are you nervous? Are you nervous? You kind of touched on that a little bit right now. And I kept telling you, we've done mountains. We've done half marathons already. We've done hard things. Like, we can do this. And what I wanted to touch on is kind of putting those two things together is you are not, whatever it is, you are not a runner. You're not a business person. You're not a spiritual savvy person. You're not a financial person. You're not anything. You're not anything until you decide that you are. You're not anything until you go for it. Okay? And when you go for it, that is when you start finding out who God created you to be. And that is when you start, you know how I was talking about like the mental blocks that were stacking against me? Well, when you start doing things that you otherwise wouldn't have done before, you start stacking not mental blocks, but you start stacking like identity characteristics, one on top of the other, on top of the other, becoming undeniably who God has created you to be. And I could not have said, oh, like with all certainty in my heart and my mind, like, what are you nervous about? Like, we'll be fine. We've done hard things. Why? Because we've done hard things. We have undeniable evidence that we can do hard things. Like, so when we look at a marathon, it's just like, okay, it's a big mountain that we're about to conquer, but we've conquered mountains before. We've conquered emotional mountains. We've conquered financial mountains. We've conquered physical mountains. We've done races. We've pushed the limits or whatever. Like, and we could sit here with a strong foundation of knowing like who we are. And this is just another stack that we're putting on top of that identity. Like, we can do hard things. And now for me personally, it's I can do hard things despite of the curveballs that are hit my way. And if you really want to find out who you are, you have to go into those spaces of unknown, those spaces of like, I'm not sure, those spaces of I wasn't this before, but I mean, I guess I'm going to try. Like, you won't know until you go for it.
And that's one of the things I'm not going to say I was excited about, but I think we said it in a previous podcast where I was like the last loop or whatever, the last miles, like show you what you're made out of. Like I couldn't wait to see like what words am I going to speak to myself? Like what's the language that's going to seep through in the pressure? Is it going to be like, stop, like just give up, like quit, walk away, no one's looking? Or is it going to be like, nah, you're gonna run until you like pass out? Like, what is it gonna be? And so I was looking forward to that because you don't know. You can say, I'm tough. You can say like whatever it is you feel good about yourself, but you're not gonna know who you are until like that pressure period, and then it's gonna just seep out, and then you're just like, oh, okay, this is who I am.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to figure out. It's almost like a puzzle in those moments when, like the mile 20 or whatever, mile 22, you have to like figure out the puzzle of how am I going to get there mentally? Because it's mental before it is physical.
100%.
And like you were saying, you were picking somebody and you're like, nah, that person's not going to beat me. You were like, you were finding some way to keep the engine going and keep going. Like for me, I was like trying to give myself motivational speeches of like, no, we're going to do this and you're going to do this for people and you're going to do this as a living testimony. You're going to be able to help people.
You're just so much healthier.
I'm like, You're going to do this for your kids and all this stuff. And you got to use whatever it is that you can in those moments when you feel like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't know if I have the gas. I don't know if I have the mental capacity. I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to pass out and just die right here, but I'm going to find a way. And like, it's in those moments that you figure out the puzzle, you keep going. And when you cross that finish line, the finish line, we talked about in one of the episodes, it's not about getting to the finish line. It's who you become during the journey of getting to that finish line. And when you cross that finish line is just, what is it that they say when you get baptized? It is a...
new life?
No. It's like a living testimony. It's
a declaration?
Like a physical declaration of who you are. Like you cross that finish line and you look, you can, the moment that you cross that finish line, you can immediately look back and just be like, I did that. Like it got done. I was able to. I crossed the finish line. Like, again, for me personally, not the way that I pictured it to go, but that I crossed, regardless of everything. I'm like, no, it's just another undeniable thing that just like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And regardless, like anybody can come, anybody, and be like, you're this, you're that. I'm probably mostly unshaken. I'm just like, I have all this undeniable, like, I feel like the people that are insecure about who they are, the people that don't have the evidence to back it up. But when you have the evidence, it's just like, you could say whatever you want. Like, I know who I am.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, honestly, I'm at the point where I'm like, I know I can do an ultra. That's 30 miles, right?
Oh, I think so. Like 30 miles.
Yeah, I'm like, what's another 4 miles?
The shortest one. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but the ultras are usually in a mountain.
And I feel like I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just a moment, okay, like, is it worth it? Just because I can do it, should I do it? Some more time and more training. But I feel like no one could tell me, like, before, I think it was a little bit insecurity of like, can I do a half? Can I do a full? And I needed to prove it to myself that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's just like, no, I can train for anything and I can do it.
Yeah, I think it'll always go down to the why you're doing it, right? Like if I ever did things like that, for me, I guess it's kind of cool to say like, oh, I did an ultra and I did a 50 miler or 100 miler, whatever it is. Like, but I think my heart is always going to be whatever it is that I get to experience or I get to do. I always want to be a stream. And so like whatever it is that I do, I just want it to be used to be able to help or somebody else, right? To help them believe that they can do hard things or whatever. Like, and I think like people judge like David Goggins, for example. And that guy has no cartilage in his knees and he's still running, and so many stories of how much pain he's been in and that he almost died and his feet are messed up after doing like he's I don't know, like close to 60, I think, or if not 60 something. And he's still running 250 miles and everyone's like, what the heck? You've already done these things. Like, why do you keep doing it? And like he always gives answers because he has this like persona about him. He's like, F you, blah, blah, blah. Like I do it just, to stay hard and blah, blah, blah. But you know that behind all that, like he's written books, he's a motivational speaker. Like it's to kind of a similar message, I think. It's like, regardless of my situation, like I want to prove to you guys that I can do hard things. And if I could do hard things with my situation, like that most of you guys probably would have quit, like you guys can do it too. And again, it'll always go down to the why. Like I think if I ever do anything crazy like that, it's just for that sake of, again, yes, partly of like for me to feel accomplished, but like at some point you're just like, all right, that's just too much, like,
yeah, if I do it, it's because I want to be called crazy.
It's got to be, to do something crazy like that, it's got to be more than about yourself. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because if it's just about me, like, I don't think my mind is carrying me through all that.
I have like a too busy life to do that, but now it's cool knowing like I probably can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Especially at least 30 miles. I feel like I can do it. But goes back to like, you guys can do it. And it's crazy because I want to shake people up sometimes and just be like, you just have to change your mind. Like if I could just change their mind and like do one little step and like you'll be there before you know it.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, like how bad do you want it? And then you're just like, all right, if they don't want it, you can't shake them. But because it wasn't that drastic. I feel like people think it was that drastic for me, and it's like it honestly wasn't that drastic.
What do you mean?
Like how fast it happened. Like obviously kind of happened a little faster than usual, but I feel like my life wasn't like it didn't change that drastic. So I'm like, if I could do these little steps to get there, like so can anyone else.
Yeah, I think honestly, if I put it into steps, I don't know all of them, but at least the first two I think would be one, again, deciding that I'm not going to longer say that I'm not this person. Mm-hmm. You're going to decide that you are this person. That's step one, is deciding that you're going to do it. And step two, I think, is the breakthrough part, because I remember that when you started running, you tried it the first couple of times and you're like, no, there's no way. No, this is not for me. And I asked you like all the details, and long story short, I basically told you, slow down and you'll feel like you can go farther. And I remember you came back that one day and I just reminded you before you went on that run, I'm like, kill your pride and just go slower. You came back and you were happy and you're like, I feel like I could have done more. And that second step is always that breakthrough part. When you figure out and you realize I can do this and I could do more. Because you came back that day and you're like, I did it.
I'm never going to forget.
And it was awesome. And I felt like I could do more. Like that's like the first step is you decided. And the second part is like when you finally like it clicks and you realize like, oh, I can do this. Mm-hmm. Like when you change from the side of the coin that says no to the side of the coin that says yes. And now it's just a matter of, okay, now let's strategize. And that's when you started like the ChatGPT and how am I going to do this scheduling and how do I train or whatever and the macros and blah, blah, blah. But I think those are the two first important parts of becoming who you want to become or who God is calling you to become.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But yeah. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We hope that you guys enjoyed our story, our testimony, our lessons. And again, everything that we talked about here is not just about running. It's more than just about running.
It's more than your medal. You better say, hold it up.
Yeah, these things are just evidence of who we are. That's all it is. But we want to encourage you guys to believe that you guys are who God is calling you to be. We want to encourage you guys to take those steps, even if they're baby steps. And I personally want to encourage you guys, even if life throws a curveball at you, keep going. You can keep going. You can. Seek out coaches if you guys need coaches. I sought out a doctor. I sought out PT. I got x-rays and MRIs done. Like I made sure, I'm not telling you to just go out blind with no coach, no support, no help, no friends. It's all those things are important. But the first part is all about you, is making that choice of saying I can and I will. And then after that, it's yes, the strategy or whatever. And then if life throws curveballs at you, like just have plans in place, but that you can do it, that you can do it. And we want to encourage you guys to go out into those unknowns, start stacking all those undeniable evidence of who God created you to be. And you will see that in a matter of time, you're going to look back and be like, I was here. Now I'm here. I'm full of confidence. I'm full of belief that I could do hard things, that I could do amazing things, that I could have success. It takes time. It takes steps. It takes strategy. It takes a lot of times mental fortitude. But that you can do it, you could do it. And when you do it, it's going to be so sweet seeing all your hard work pay off. So we will see you guys on the next one. We love you guys. We're praying for you guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye.